Hello, everyone. I'm Michelle with Design&Vine, and I'm super excited to be joining this collaboration hosted by Tami with Crafty Peep, co-hosted by Favi with Arrows DIY, and guest hosted by Kristy with Kristy's Crafty Cottage. Thank you all for having me. I started small, but I started with a huge mess. One of my favorite paints by Junk Monkey Paint Company in the color Seahorse. Spilled it all over my craft desk, guys. It was a hot mess, and I tried to save as much as I could. Why? Why do these things happen to me? Anyway, I have this old mid-century modern style armoire, and I wanted to start with this project for my craft room organization. I had some sanding to do, and I had a little bit of a balance issue because the back edge of this particular dresser was kind of worn away, and I had to fill it in and try to make it work. So had it laying down for a while. I pulled the drawers out, and then the painting began. Yay! Are we there yet? Not quite, but we're about to be. Hang in there. The organization is coming up. So we started with the seahorse, and I grabbed my paint roller, and voila, we went from that to this. Beautiful color, right? So we shifted it around, me and my husband and my son, and got it all painted. And then I went in with some Junk Monkey glaze in black, and you can see the effect that that had. It really added some dimension to it. It's so much prettier in person, y'all. But I wanted to start with this so that I could start small, and it ended up being a bigger project than what I thought. So I did go in at the end with this wax by Junk Monkey Paint Company as well, called Monkey Shine, and it's still, even to this minute, curing. So you can see some of the lines and stuff on there. It's just the wax that's soaking in and curing. And I added the original handles back after I painted them from a gold to a black matte, and I'm waiting. You can see me pointing to the bottom two drawers there on some drawer pulls to come in because I took them off and I don't know what I did with them. They're somewhere amid my craft mess. So you can see I have tons of stuff. This particular dresser is in my bedroom. There are 3 sections to my bedroom, and I have just piled in the craft stuff. So I was super happy that this was done, and I decided to go ahead and start at the bottom to put the heavier items in there. I have a bunch of frames that I intend to use for crafting, and I started putting the frames in there. I emptied a box. I was super excited about that. Continued picking up some frames that were on the floor and on the side down there, and I also had some strung beads and some 12 by 12 craft cardstock paper that I put into the drawers. And then I also decided to put an old cigar box that I had picked up at one point, and I'll show that in just a second. Yep, there it is. Really, really nice cigar box. And I'll use that for a craft at some point, but I was just super excited to free up even the tiniest space by just grabbing things and putting them in somewhere and then throwing a TV on top. That was part of the plan, actually. It's kind of in the middle of the room. We have to get the cables all set up and everything, but I open it up so that you can see what I actually did add to the inside of this. And um, oh, I had also put that drop cloth in there as well. I plan to use that in the near future. So you can see all the items. I still have a little bit of space to play with, so I'll definitely be using that and filling it up. Just really super happy that I finished this small part of my craft organization. It's kind of kickstarting it for me, and I'm just excited to get on to the next part. So in a second, I think I show the bed to the TV. That was the intention for the top of that. And here you can see I do have my Chalkator surfaces already organized on 2 shelving units. One of them kind of looks like a dollhouse. And I have these 3 drawer units that are not utilized to their best of ability, to the best of their ability or my ability. There's a lot of space and a lot of reorganization that can get done here. I had some shipping items in that one, and then you'll see I come over to this one. There's a few transfers in the top, 1 item in the second drawer, and guess what's in the last drawer? Absolutely nothing. So yeah, I definitely have the space, or at least a little more space, to start organizing some more things. And then I have a bunch of transfers on this trade unit, and I was really annoyed that it was so dusty. I don't know if y'all have dust like I do, but it's just endless. So I wiped that off real quick. It probably needs to be cleaned better, but I definitely want to reorganize that. This is my actual craft room. Still a hot mess. I have a long way to go, guys, but I'm really encouraged now. And I want you to be as well, because if you're a crafter, you know things pile up and it can end up looking a clutter like this. We just keep moving and keep doing, and we just put things aside. So this is my craft room. That is my back wall to the left there. And that is what you see when I go live on Facebook or YouTube. There's my little walking path, which isn't much. Sometimes I have to turn sideways. There's my desk that I just have a cheap Walmart tablecloth on. I've got some IKEA storage down there, handy dandy trash can. I do have some ribbon on some shoe racks on both walls, flanking the window there. A lot of ribbon, and that is not all of it. And there is that back wall I was talking about. There are the paints, the acrylic paints that I use. I also have a bunch of jars, pretty jars that I've picked up here and there that have my beads in them. And let's see what up. There's another IKEA storage, and that all has transfers in it, small A and B size transfers. More clutter, some frames, all along the back side and the side of my craft table. There's just a bunch of stuff I do on that shelving unit. I don't think I show it, but right back there to the right, have all my Junk Monkey paints and Dixie Belle paints up there. And there are some bins that I have yet to label. I have some tips in a moment on some things to do, and I need to take my own advice and label those. Um, Let's see, so there's my ring light. There's the TV where I read comments from. And I have my hot glue guns and my heat gun, my stapler. I have that wheelie cart there with scissors and things like that on it. That all needs to be reorganized. My paintbrushes are actually organized by size and type. And there I have my Archon mount with the downward facing camera and my ring light with the forward facing camera. You've got this. Just inhale and exhale. Rome was not built in a day. We need to give ourselves grace. All right, so here are those tips I talked about. You want to have an overall plan. You want to write some categories down. There are some suggestions. Begin grouping the items into the categories and keep your workspace flow in mind when you're doing that. So begin decluttering, purge, purge, purge items you have not and do not foresee a purpose for within a reasonable timeline. Okay, there are some donate, sell, giveaway options. Organize your craft room with designated spaces in mind. Okay, these are just suggestions, little tips that you can consider. So decide on storage solutions. There are some ideas for you, and always keep in mind that you want to finish projects before buying new supplies. And I don't think any of us do that very well. So I definitely want to take this opportunity to send a special thank you to, excuse me, Crafty Peep. Tami, thank you so much. Favi with Arrows DIY and Kristy with Kristy's Crafty Cottage. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so that you can be notified when I go live. Thank you all for having me. Have a blessed day.